Hello, Bulldogs. This is Premiere tutorial number 2. As you recall, yesterday we talked about 3 titles. We talked about a still title. We talked about a crawling title, moves left to right. We talked about a scrolling title that moves up and down. Today what you're going to do is you're going to start by turning your still title into a title for whatever pictures you're going to import. I'm going to import some pictures real quick. They are already resized 1920 by 1080. They're in my folder. So I'm going to go to the desktop, import those pictures. I'm just going to highlight them like so and click open. Once they're in my folder, you'll notice that they're already highlighted. If for some reason I clicked off of them on accident, all I need to do is go up here, highlight the pictures again, and drag them down to the timeline by putting my mouse in the center of a picture and dragging them down. Remember that we can always scroll up by putting my mouse here to make this bigger and smaller so I can actually see the thumbnails. Then you're going to take your roll title and move it to the end. I turned mine into credits. Go ahead and say edited by and list your name, and then instead of, I just copy and pasted it a few times, but instead of edited by the second time, you could say yearbook photographers, thank you for the photographers. And then you could say, maybe your last one says, special thanks to Mr. Wickwar, the greatest teacher in the world. Okay, the first one is going to be an opening title. My opening title for basketball pictures, this is Bush versus Harris, is maybe Bulldogs defeather the Hawks, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so come up with a catchy title. Take this crawling title and stick it on top of one of your pictures. Okay. Then, to get rid of this gap, we're going to right-click and ripple delete. Okay? The next thing I want you to do is I want you to create a title for every picture. Okay? 2 crawling titles. So when you're done, you'll have 2 titles that look like the one that's right here. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this one down again. You'll have 2 crawling titles. They're going to be different. Please don't make them say this is a crawling title. This one might say number 24 jumps up for a rebound. Okay, or it may say rebound. This one might say some girls listen to Coach Weber give a pep talk. Okay, whatever you want the title to say, but create your titles. 2 crawling titles, 2 rolling titles, and then 6 still titles. Okay, remember to make a still title or whatever title, you just click default still. I'm just going to call this one rebound. I'm going to type the word rebound right in the center. Turn it to a font I want, make it pretty big. Okay, and then just drag it where I want it, which is just, let's put it right down here in the corner. X out, drag it down to the timeline where you want your rebounder, and then look for a picture of rebounding. Here we go. And that title fits right on top. Okay, so 6 of those. Each of these is going to have a title on top when you're done. For time purposes, I am going to shrink mine down a little bit, but you're to have an opening title, closing credits, and 10 pictures. Okay, let me get rid of about 6 so I can show you what to do next. Next, I want you to add transitions. You're going to come over here and you're going to click on video transitions. Remember that there are lots of them. I'm going to pick a couple of my favorites. This first one is called a cube spin. Now, typically, I would not put a different transition between each picture, but this time I'm going to, just because I want y'all to practice using the different transitions. Notice that this is a cube spin. If I zoom in a little bit, plus, 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 I can edit that transition. I can stretch it out. I can make it shorter, or I can just click on it. And up here, I can change when it starts and when it stops. Okay, whatever you want. Okay, notice that the transition down here changed a little now. Okay, I'm going to scroll over and zoom out a little bit. Let's put a transition between the other one. This time, try a different transition. This one is a cross dissolve. This is actually the default transition. Now, cross dissolve just basically dissolves into the next picture. Remember that transitions go between pictures, and video effects, which we're going to do right now, go on pictures. So between your 10 pictures, you're going to add some transitions. After you have your transitions, you're going to add video effects. I'm going to close the transition windows. I'm going to open up video effects, and I'm just going to click on 2 or 3 of my favorites. Under distort, we're going to try the mirror effect. Remember that effects go on clips. So I'm going to put it right on top of this clip, move my playhead on top, and you'll notice that it doesn't do much other than this girl is sort of mirrored. You have to click on Effect Controls and click on the actual effect you just added. Click on the effect, and you'll notice a tiny little bullseye over here. This little bullseye allows me to move this to get a real mirrored effect. If you can't see that bullseye, you can always adjust it right here under reflection angle. That will work too. Let's try another effect. This video effect, the next one I'm going to do, is called Wave Warp. I'm just going to drag it on top of the clip and let go. You'll immediately notice a little bit of a wave warp. If I want to increase that wave warp, I can go up here and click on the effect, come down below, and let's change the wave height and the wave width. Now I have what we might use like in a dream sequence. Diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo. Okay? And then the last one I'm going to try is right here under Generate. So I'm going to close this one and scroll down here just a little bit to Generate. And let's try the lightning bolt. I'm going to drag the lightning bolt onto the clip. And you see a faint little lightning bolt. Okay? For this one, I'm going to come up and click on lightning. And now you see a couple of grab bars. Okay, for this one, this girl is kind of looking off into the distance. It's going to suddenly shoot lightning at the girl across. Now for this one, I can change all kinds of things. Look, I can change the amplitude of the lightning, the branches or the rebranching of the lightning. I'm just going to change the width of the lightning just a little so we can see it a little better. And then maybe the color. Let's change the outside color to yellow. And now, as you can see, I have kind of a cool looking lightning coming out of her eyes. Okay, so that is lightning. Okay, so when you're done here, you're going to have all these effects. Now remember that you can also add effects to text. Okay, for right here, I'm going to add under perspective a basic 3D effect. Now notice when I added it doesn't do anything, but if I come up here and click on the effect, and I do what's called the tilt, I can kind of get a Star Wars effect. In fact, if I double click on it up here in the screen and stretch it out just a little, looks almost exactly like Star Wars might look. Let's check it out. So you're kind of going off into the distance, wrong font and whatnot, but you get the idea. Pretty cool. All right, so to reiterate effects, this is my requirement sheet. I want you to start by creating an opening, title, and closing credits. Then import 10 pictures that are resized. Then put a title above each picture, 2 crawls, 2 rolls, and 6 stills. Add transitions between your pictures. Add effects on each picture. Remember, different transitions and different effects. The idea here is to practice. And then these 3 things we will worry about tomorrow. This is some stuff we're going to add. That is it. Good luck and happy video editing.